Hello guys, what's up? My name's Sharpclaw, and today I'm making a video because I saw something that kind of made me fear something. So, we got some more information from the developer notes, and as we saw, Overcharge hit the can already before it actually even became a meta perk, before you probably were going to see it in matches. Before Overcharge even was given light, it was already snuffed out. So, um, the whole purpose of this is kind of to prevent this to happening to a perk that I love. Um, this is kind of similar to what Ots did to Legion, as Legion got buffed, so that Legion did not suffer the same consequences of what happened to Wraith. So, today I'm basically going to be talking about the concerns that a lot of content creators have with Eruption. And I'm going to mainly talk about three things, and maybe I'm going to make like a little fourth as a little minor, some things that you should take into consideration. So before I start, let's talk about Eruption as general, right? What does it do now, and what it's going to do. So Eruption currently, basically, you need to kick a gen in order to get its proc going. So it only applies to kicking. This means that Surge slash Jolt will not activate it. Pain Resonance will not activate it. Oppression will not activate it. It only goes to the gens that you kick. That's how you tag it, right? Take it like a reverse blast mine for the killer, right? It's the blast mine for the killer side. After that, the gen will be highlighted in yellow, so you know that Eruption is there on that gen. That's once that is done. After you down a person, it can be downed by any ways, M1, M2, power ability, whatever it may be. Once you down a person, the gen will then explode and take 6% out of that. Okay, fine. Another bonus side effect is if there's someone working on the gen at the moment, they will scream and they will be incapacitated for 16 seconds. For those of you who don't know what the incapacitated status effect is, it was a status effect introduced when the twins came out. It was only being applied to as Vic, would attach onto you. And basically, it stops more of the major progressing things of the game, so more objective like type stuff. This means you will not be able to do gens, you won't be able to heal, and then there are some little side things such as saboing, cleansing, blessing. But for the most part, the two major ones that you will most likely feel are healing and repairing the gens. Other than that, you can still do a lot, and again, we're gonna go through it all. Um, Another thing that I wanted to actually mention is I made a tutorial guide on Eruption. So if I do skip out a couple of things, please go check the guide. It's going to be down in the description below. I didn't want to go too much in depth because again, I made a guide for Eruption. I love Eruption. I will use it on any killer, whatever it may be. I love Eruption. So, and I literally have used it almost on every killer that I main and any killer that I really enjoy. So, I think that it's totally a fine perk. And yeah, I'm just really passionate about it, and I don't want to see it suffer the same demise as Overcharge. So, with that being said, let's get to the top three main things that people often are concerned with uh, with Eruption. So the first thing is of course solo queue. Solo queue players will struggle a lot with this perk. Um, what what perk isn't a struggle for solo queue? You have, I'm gonna state an example. You have three people in comms and then one random. Say the killer has Hysteria, Rancor, Bamboozle, and Nurse's Calling. Okay. Not a lot of strong perks there, but they can all have a better chance to really hurt this team. So say the killer chased someone within the team, they're already calling out the perks, right? So they're very well aware of that. But say, one person in the team is injured and the random is injured too. The killer then drops the chase with the person there and then goes for the random. The random does not know that they're going for them because they're not in comms. That's Hysteria giving some value right there. Okay. Another situation. Everyone knows in the team that they have Bamboozle. The first time the random goes into the chase, they don't know that. Sure, Bamboozle will not get the same advantage again, but chase-like perks, which Bamboozle is a chase perk, can get like double value at times for its like surprise sneak attack. Because, a person will vault, think they're safe from the vault, after they vault. The killer will just follow right back instantly, and, Bamboozle will basically gain the killer upper advantage. So normally chase-like perks, you can get like value from it more the more times people are around them. Of course, once you chase them again, they'll be more attentive. They won't feel as safe when they are vaulting a window, so they'll be more attentive. But still, you could gain double value from a random. Another thing is nurses. If the team already knew the killer went to them when they were healing, they knew that nurses is there, but the random does not know that. So if they're self-healing in the corner, the killer can come there and sneak up. Sure, this is another situation where it's only going to get its value once, but still, getting the value once or twice because of random is also good. And now, finally, Rancor. Something that actually really hurts a lot of randoms is Rancor. A guy, often at times at the end of the game, people will think, oh, why isn't he coming for the unhook? Why isn't he doing anything? That's because he's Rancored. He can't do anything. And oftentimes they'll just have to leave because they really can't do anything. So, yeah, another thing that is problematic. It's not really the perks. None of these perks are strong. The problematic stuff that should be actually looked into is solo queue itself. Now, in the past, Behavior did say it was going to buff solo queue, maybe give some extra HUD information, something amongst those lines, but that never ended up happening. But I really think solo queue should be buffed, and that's what should be looked at, not the perk. No, it's definitely not the perk's fault. Okay, the second point. People already are assuming and taking into consideration that there is Eruption on the gen. As I stated how Eruption is triggered, the killer needs to activate Eruption. Eruption doesn't just go on a gen. A survivor with Blast Mine doesn't throw the Blast Mine and it's tagged on the gen. They need to build it up. The same way the killer needs to prepare Eruption. Now, there are certain situations where, let's say you push someone off a gen. Normally it ends up being a choice, right? You either let that person get more distance and then you try to do an Eruption play, or you just chase them, on the get-go. Oftentimes, because you let that person get more distance, this could just lead up to two survivors, one with Prove Thyself and another with a chunky toolbox with a brand new part, and then rushing the gen before you even get Eruption value. And because you gave that person more distance, there are times, I've had this a bunch of times, where you don't get that Eruption value. Again, even you could say that, oh, if you're playing a strong killer, you'll most likely always get it. Even then, it doesn't really matter, because strong killers, you could take advantage from any perk in the game and they'll do good with it. That's not really something to gloat on or anything. If they get advantage of a higher up advantage. Eruption kind of excels in that. Eruption is a good perk if you're winning. If you're losing, Eruption doesn't really do a lot. So it's one of those perks that just help you better if you're already doing good. That's basically it. Now in other situations where, let's say you just hook someone and then there's a gen going, you kick it, you'll most likely always get eruption value from that. Don't get me wrong, because even unless they tag up on the team and they have Prove Thyself, brand new toolbox and the biggest toolbox of engineers and speedy add-ons and all that stuff, unless they have like something really over busted, you're probably gonna get eruption value off of that gen. But even then, I feel like you should get the value off of that, right? Because this way, you kick the gen and then you start a chase with someone who didn't get really distance off of you or something like that. So I feel like that's more fair. But yeah, eruption doesn't always give you the value. Sometimes there's times where you just lose the gen instead of getting the value. It's a wild card, and that's just the way it is. Okay. But then again, it's kind of like what I've seen a lot of content creators say. It's going to be a problem. They're already assuming that eruption's on the gen, right? So you need to take that into consideration. Okay, now finally, third thing, and this one is kind of like the one that blows my mind the most. Okay, so the other thing is that people say that the survivor will be completely useless. Who said that? Really, who said that? Alright, I'm just gonna go off a bunch of scenarios of what you can do in the meantime. You can go craft a flashbang. If you already have it charged, just go to a locker and craft a flashbang. Heck, you got any means necessary? Lift up a pallet. You did a totem and you're injured? Go heal with inner strength. There's a survivor that just got hooked? Go unhook them. The killer is circling around your area? Go be chased by the killer. You got pebble? Use it. Maybe make a diversion. Hell, if it's not charged, charge it. You're facing against trapper? Disarm a bear trap. There's a zombie around? Kill it with a pallet. Heck, if you're infected, get a vaccine. Charge up your stakeout. Cleanse on a fountain. Turn off the Sadako TV. Remove your reverse bear trap. Take a protection hit / body block the killer. While you're doing that, you can use breakout. Go open Pinhead's box. Destroy some Freddy snares or dream pallets. Heck, in the meantime, wake yourself. Run up to destroy Dredge's Revenant or block a locker. Run up to destroy an artist scroll while they're chasing someone else. Open a chest. Drop a medkit to a survivor so that they can heal themselves. Recharge an item with Built to Last. Be ready for a head-on play. Pallet save another survivor. Use deception. Look for your plaything in the meantime. Use red herring. Kick Victor while they're idle. Reveal a ghost face while he's chasing someone else. Run into a hag trap to disarm it. Get someone from Pyramid Head's cage. Destroy a Demogorgon portal. Rummage through a chest with Appraisal or Hattie's perk. Stand next to someone with Prove Thyself. You'll still give them the Prove Thyself. Help someone cleanse a totem faster with Leader. Give other Vigil or Streetwise. Heck, there is so much stuff that you can do, and yeah, who said that they'll be useless? Really, who said that they'll be useless? I could probably name a lot of more things that you can do, and if you're in comms, you can maybe use like something like clairvoyance to call some stuff out, or just keep giving callouts in the meantime. Who said that they're gonna be useless? Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay. Fourth and final things, which some people are not taking into account. This perk cannot be like really spammed at. It goes through a cooldown, even though the cooldown is not really all that much noticeable. I didn't even notice it myself. It's 30 seconds. Sometimes the cooldown still can cuck you. You'll have to wait for it before you can tag it on a gen. There are things that I didn't really mention because again, I made a guide in Eruption, I have 3,000 plus hours in this game, most of it on killer, and when Eruption came out, I love to use it on all the killers that I possibly could slap it on. So I don't think Eruption is a problem. If you ask me, someone who uses Eruption a lot, I see a, a funny problem that people actually aren't actually taking into consideration, and that's the regression. The regression being buffed from 6 to 10%. You know, it's not the incapacitated. That's what's like unique about the perk. That's what gives life and flavor to the perk. What perks in the game right now give incapacitated status effect? I'll tell you, none except Eruption. What killers give incapacitated effect? I'll tell you right now, it's only two, Charlotte and Pinhead. What add-ons give the incapacitated status effect? One, Huntress's Hatchet add-on. Can you really stack that incapacitated status effect? At most, you're going to be stacking it 2 times. With either the killer's powers or the Huntress add-on, and then with the perk. That's it. It's not like you can stack this. And again, it's not like those 20 seconds are eternal. And again, it's not like the killer can spam it, because they will have to wait for the cooldown. I think more this perk will be a problem for newer players, where they won't know what to do. They probably won't know anything that I just said, all of the stuff that I just said that you can do in the meanwhile. They probably won't know to do any of that. But if the person is smart, they can definitely make those 25 seconds seem like nothing. They will use built to last and recharge their item. They will, craft a flashbang. They will, if they have an item in their hand, they'll drop it to the other survivors to do stuff. They'll be smart about it. And it's weird that people are saying it's completely useless. Now, in terms of solo play, I also wanted to talk up a little bit more on that, because people are always saying that there's no counterplay. For the first time you see Eruption get used, you can now be aware, okay, the killer has Eruption. If you've seen the killer kick the gen there, you know that that gen is tagged with Eruption. Why not just go do another gen? You've seen him kick it, you know what he's tagged it. So it's kind of like the similarities of someone that's used Blast Mine on you as the killer. You can kind of tell, okay, this person, they have Blast Mine, so every time I chase them off a gen, I have to be more aware of that. And it's the same thing as Survivor. You can kind of be aware, okay, he has Eruption, I have to be more aware and attentive what gens I do, and what if I saw him click this gen or not. Sure, you won't be able to tell when the person goes down when you're in solo queue, because there's not really that much information, but still, you can still move to another gen. You can kind of maybe stay attentive on the HUD. If they lose a health state, maybe get off the gen. There's still counterability. It's just again, playing smart and efficient. Yeah, that's basically it. I wanted to really talk up on this before if Eruption goes out. I really hope that, if anything, maybe we'll just revert the regression. How many regression perks are in this game? Yeah, there's a shit ton. I couldn't even. But something that is unique as Eruption, you don't see a lot of it. And again, I'm totally fine with it as it is right now. And I'm saying this if I'm playing Survivor, right? I don't think it's all going to be that popular. And as we saw what happened to Overcharge before it even got light, it was very snuffed out. So I don't want the same thing to happen to my dear Eruption. With that all said, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye, much love, and take care, everyone. Peace.